Jetzt werde ich bestimmt gleich verhaftet. Tag 8. Okay. So. Dave was here. Was?
You need to get at least the bottom 4 plugs on. Right, let's load up the adverts. You might want to have a bit of a think about it. Your decisions have consequences, don't they?
Was sollen wir spielen? Ist dieses Spielzeug sicher? Okay. Ich muss zuerst Mr. Kuschelflausch.
Right, you can see they finally got the old headline system up and working again, and the vision mixer's already in headline mode because headlines always come at the start. It's really simple, mate.
C, ne?
These
Ja,
two buttons at the bottom of the vision mixer, you can see they now have A and B on them.
Ach so,
and
ja.
that'll help you pick image A on the left bottom screen here, or image B on the right bottom screen here. It's really simple. This little clock here will count down the number of seconds you have to make your decision. Provided you make a decision in that time, you're fine. And you can change your mind as much as you want until the clock reaches 0. But if you don't make any decision, you'll be fired before you even get to make another choice. I just want to say one more thing, mate. The pictures you choose to show of these people, well, that's how the public is going to perceive them. And that's going to affect their lives.
Okay,
So
ja.
like with the adverts, choose carefully.
No,
And
my
we're off.
sister's kid.
Good luck, mate. If I get time, I'll call you back in the next break. Yeah, I'm coming, darling.
Get one of those. My friend Janet says theirs gets really hot.
Is this Janet who thinks dogs have their own secret language?
Yeah, the one that mistrusts the moon.
10 seconds, everybody.
Not the best source of consumer advice, then.
And close down at 1:15 midnight.
Okay.
Before all that,
3.
to go over to Jeremy Donaldson for tonight's National Night.
Good evening, I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Our main headlines tonight. Destination unknown.
Okay,
At the end of
preparing
NASA's
out
first
of
full
it.
week in office, we ask exactly who's leading this charge. Tonight, I'll be
Natürlich
discussing
B.
what the new future might hold with a leading economist and radical freethinker. With the Assets and Wealth Act on the brink of raising living standards for the vast majority of the country,
Ich glaube, das ist besser.
I'll be asking my guess if we're on the way to a new future. Out with the old, Remington's Fist have appointed Sophia Remington as their new CEO. The following photo, taken from our archive,
Ich glaube, das ist
gives
gut.
us a sense of
Das
this
hier.
influential young firebrand who, at the tender age of 23, becomes the youngest female CEO in history. Sophia Remington has always impressed. She was top of her class at university and graduated with the
Okay.
highest honours, immediately being asked back to lecture. The markets have responded favourably to Sophia's appointment, with stocks rising 30 points in light of the announcement. In
BD.
her first press conference this afternoon, Sophia announced a children's toy named Mr. Snugglehearts.
Okay.
Sophia promises it'll be all the rage this Christmas, but concerns have been raised about the product safety. Making a splash. Intrepid scientist Dr. David Wong, a marine biologist Ingrid
Wir nehmen mal immer die guten Bilder. Ich habe
today set off to explore
wahrscheinlich schon
the
echt hart verkackt.
The recently discovered cave system
Von wegen, dass ich meinen Reisepass weggegeben habe. Von dem her geben wir hier uns große Mühe lieber.
The imposing central cavern and the undiscovered plant species it contains. This is, of course, only the latest in a series of successful expeditions for this unlikely.
Aber warum sind da manchmal so wirklich ganz, ganz komische Bilder? Also da kommt bestimmt noch was, wo ich dann auswählen muss, so von wegen, das oder das?
Playing the field. Rumors abound as sporting legend Johnny Hamsleeves is snapped leaving Bush, one of the capital's hottest.
Ja, Nummer A.
The footballer was caught while out celebrating being named Sports Personality of the Year last week, as reported by this very program. Johnny is seen here with socialite and performance artiste Tiffany Lamore, whose recent show,
Tiffany
Snatched
Lamore.
Inside My Snatch, has kept her firmly in the public eye. Could romance be on the cards for these two budding
Was für
A-listers?
ein Name?
And grievous bodily charm. With advance promising a radical new position on crime, how afraid should we actually be? I'll be going live around the country to talk with people who've seen the criminal justice system from every perspective. With more and more powers passing to the police and less oversight, are we using an advanced-shaped sledgehammer to crack a nut? All that and mega more.
Nice.
Young
Ich habe wieder alle.
already experiencing the positive side of the new Assets and Wealth Act. They'll be talking and performing later. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
War's das? Nein, noch nicht. Muss immer noch gucken. Auf 1 muss ich dann wahrscheinlich schalten.
We're going in 5.
In the wake of the
Oops.
government's swift enactment of the Assets and Wealth Act, we're talking about Advance's first week in office and what the new future holds. Joining me are Katie Brightman, a leading economist, and Alan James, author of Alan James's Right,
Okay,
The Free
sehr
Man's
schön.
Guide to Waking Up. Alan, the government certainly haven't dragged their heels on delivering some of the legislation they promised. But what does the Wealth Act mean for us?
Ach.
Jeremy. We're still vassal slaves.
Jetzt muss ich erstmal wieder damit zurechtkommen.
A confident dismissal there. Katie Brightman, do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't, no. I think that Advance have realised that the current economic system
Hä?
of unlimited, unending growth is untenable, so they're changing things up.
There I agree with you. They're moving to the next steps
Okay.
in the grand plan.
Grand plan, Alan.
It's all in my book. Alan James is right, Jeremy. We're to become the great herd. Ignorant, sterile, and short-lived. That's what they want.
Or perhaps Advance have just realised that if we carry on the way we are, we will destroy ourselves and
The
the
fuck?
planet in a mad orgy of consumption, if you'll excuse the colourful metaphor.
Yes, orgy is the right word. Only it'll be the overlords having an orgy on our poor broken backs. It's all in my book. Alan James is...
Shamelessly self-promoting. Katie, how do you think the rest of the world will respond to this new approach?
I think they're watching carefully.
Ich bin
Advance
gespannt.
is the most disruptive threat that the world
Ist schon
powers
mal
have
was,
faced since the last Great War.
Sehr gut.
Yes, Katie's right. War is inevitable.
Thank you, but that isn't
And
what
this
I-
will not be a war like we've ever seen before. We're talking millions of deaths. We're
Die
talking
Frage ist,
high-tech
soll ich das
weapons
jetzt
that can
wegklicken?
level entire cities. We're talking...
Out of the wrong orifices?
Mock me all you like, Jeremy, but when they murder your parents and they poison your food and they take you away to their camps for hypno-brainwashing, who'll be laughing then?
That might be a great way to sell books, Alan, but you know
Oha.
full well that isn't
Mann,
going to
Mann,
happen
Mann.
in a democracy.
Democracy is dead.
Yes, Advance are radical, and change is always frightening, but the truth is that the Wealth and Assets Act has made more than 90% of the population wealthier and is on target to produce a permanent end to poverty.
Bollocks! What this young lady doesn't understand, Jeremy, is that these are the same people. Maybe they've rebranded, but it's all a little
Bollocks ist
circus
doch kein
act to keep us from
Schimpfwort.
seeing the tyrant behind the curtain.
That's where you're wrong, Alan. For a start, they've mobilised the
Alter.
youth vote like we've never seen before.
You say mobilise, I call it grooming. The grooming of an entire generation to walk happily into eternal bondage. They're like psychic paedophiles.
But based on the facts, Katie, what are your predictions?
The Assets and Wealth Act is only the first step. Advance now have a historic budgetary surplus, and as well as properly funding our
Oh,
public
man.
services, they're already funneling unprecedented amounts into scientific research and the arts.
Or, as I call them in my book, Frankenscience and opiates. Like opiates, see?
Can we get back to the issue at hand, please, Alan?
This is the issue. It's all coming from the water, the chemicals. They're pumping it full of belief juice.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see these changes, but only if they're sustainable. If Advance lose their power after spending half of our GDP on dismantling infrastructure, that could be catastrophic.
The catastrophe is that they're succeeding. They've got us sat here talking about their puppet show.
All right, we're running out of time. Quickly, Alan, what does the future look like to you?
A bleak space where we
No.
all get figuratively sodomized into submission.
No, of course. Katie?
We might be on the eve of a brave new world. God knows we need some change, but we need to be cautious. Let's walk forwards with our eyes open.
Two very different visions of the future there. Alan James, Katie Brightman, thank you for joining me. When we come back, I'll be investigating law and order before Megan meets some beneficiaries of
Okay.
the Assets and Wealth Act. That's all coming up tonight on the National Nightly News.
1 minute back.
You know, I think they might do some good.
I hope so too, Jeremy.
How much are you being
Oops.
paid by them then?
Oh, shut the fuck up, Alan. I've never heard.
Absolutely fucking
Ups, da habe ich ein bisschen zu spät drüber geblendet. Ich war gerade voll in diesem Gespräch drin. Oh, der hat geredet. Darum habe ich das hier nicht gehört.
To give you the crisp, brittle skin you've come to expect. New Judico Shon will revitalize the appearance of the strength of your face's skin. 41% of women we surveyed said they loved their visible flakes, and 7 out of 10 dentists would recommend it. Judico Shon, because we said so.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back. In our second segment, we're going to be taking a deep dive into the state of law and order
Okay.
in our country.
Diesmal sind es bisher nur
Adults
2.
have already tasked what they are calling a solutions team to move this serious social problem to the top of the list. Tonight, we go behind the headlines to meet the people who live with the criminal justice system every day of their lives. First up, we have Gregory Judge, a lawyer who sees the problems close up on the front line. Can you hear me, Gregory?
Yes, I've got you, Jeremy. Thanks for having me.
What's it like on the front line of the hard face of the cold hand of justice?
Ja.
Well, as you can imagine,
Bisher
Jeremy,
noch ganz
we are
einfach.
massively understaffed in this
Ich bin
country.
gespannt.
We're working every hour we can just to try and cope with the caseloads on our desks.
Which must affect the quality of support you can offer.
Well, we can barely keep up with demand, Jeremy. There just simply isn't enough being done at a systemic level to relieve the problem.
Greg?
We need more support from ministers. What are you doing? We need change at a structural level,
I'm
Jeremy.
leaving, Greg.
Not a good time, darling.
It never is it? I'll be at my mother's.
Just hang on. Oh, the problem isn't a local one, Jeremy. It's nationwide. Just give me 5 minutes. I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson.
Oh, have you mentioned your affairs?
No. Well, the affairs
Alter, wie lange-
of the Justice Department that we should be concerned about.
Hello, Mr. Donaldson.
Hello, Mrs. Judge.
We need legislation to relieve the pressure on our public
Sorry
servants.
to interrupt the news, Mr. Donaldson. Can I have a moment to tell my husband I'm leaving him?
Yes, I totally understand. Quite the picture of a burdened legal sector there. Gregory Judge, thank you for joining us. Next, I'm joined by Police Chief Constable Bob Peel, a man with a very different perspective on our nation's crime. Do you think there's a problem with the system, Bob?
I'm sure we all do, Jeremy. I'm sure we all long for a return to the days when you could safely walk the streets of your community at night, looking in through windows and generally enjoying your neighbours without the risk of being terrorised by some thug with a knife. Or kosh.
So you feel the streets simply aren't safe anymore? Where have we gone wrong, Bob?
Well, that's not a simple question, Jeremy, but I think it all comes down to moral decay. We've diluted our culture and lost touch with what it means to be a citizen of this once great country. Also, as the vicar noted in Sunday's sermon, we probably shouldn't have banned hanging.
And to what do you attribute this
Man.
Foreigners, gays and gypsies mainly. It's all in the Bible. Look, Leviticus clearly states that... Oh, bugger, hang on a moment. Jeremy, a bloody gimp's escaped. Delia?
Oh, fuck.
Delia, could you give me a little help, please, dear?
Fuck.
As I was saying, Jesus didn't like immigrants much, did he?
And just to be clear, you think it's the immigrants who are responsible for the moral decay?
Absolutely, Jeremy. Back in your box, Clive. Back in your box. Delia, I really could use a little help with this.
Sorry, darling, I'm staying back.
Yes, I'm talking to Jeremy Donaldson. Clive, could you put him back in his box?
Clive, you know it's Wednesday. You put back in your gimp space.
And whose responsibility is it to make a change, Bob?
Well, it is certainly not the responsibility of the decent, good, white people
Darling,
of this...
where's the padlock?
Oh, hold on just a moment.
Oh, Clive, this simply do not
Clive, I am not having this again.
Mummy, so get back in your boxes. Naughty, you beast.
As I was saying, Jeremy, moral decay. Crime is the responsibility of the criminal, no one else. Look, everyone has a sob story, but we don't all end up as barbarians, do we? Look, when our daughter Alice comes home with an A-, does she go on a killing spree? No, she takes 3 of her pills and hides under the stairs like a normal child.
Thank you, Bob. Bob Peel there, really
Oh,
locking
wie
down
gut
the
ist das
position
denn?
on morality for us. And finally tonight, hopefully uninterrupted, it's time to get to the heart of the matter. Tony Dawson has recently been released from prison after serving 3 years for aggravated assault, burglary and menacing a swat. He's agreed to talk to us today, which is also, I believe, his birthday. Many happy returns, Tony.
Cheers, Jez.
Oh
Call me
Mann.
Titwank Tony. Everybody else does.
No, I'm not going to be doing that. Can you tell us what it's like in prison, Tony?
Titwank Tony. Prison's a mixed bag. Structure's quite nice,
Gut ist
but
das denn?
it's a constant battle
Was
against
passiert bei ihm jetzt?
institutionalization, as
Und
you
könnt
can
ihr mal
imagine.
raten?
And obviously, Titwanks are quite hard to
Wer auch
come
immer
by.
da an der Seite steht, kommt da bestimmt rein.
Titwank Tony. Yeah, sorry, my friends are throwing me a surprise party. Good bunch of lads.
Okay, well, we're trying to let you get back to that party as soon as possible. First, let me ask you this. Do you feel that your time spent in prison helped to rehabilitate you in any way, Tony?
Titwank Tony. I don't think it's as easy as that, Jez. Yeah, I think asking that is an oversight.
Achso, ich dachte, das war jetzt bei mir.
Sounds like it's getting
Die
quite
irgendwas
busy there,
übersehen hat.
Tony, but let's try and soldier on. Since leaving custody, have you been able to find a new job?
Wahrscheinlich
Boys
nicht.
are here. Big Chris, Little Chris, and Vampire Chris.
This one's, yeah?
One sec, love. Titwank Tony's on the news. Rehabilitation's difficult with the current system, Jez. It's just not set up for it, you know? It's inherently unjust.
Mhm.
So, do you feel tempted
Jetzt. Natürlich, jetzt erst.
Who's this now?
You are joking. Chrissy Free Bollocks has only got Mr. Fancy, oh. What now, fellas? I'm on the news.
It seems,
The fuck
it
is
seems like we've caught you at a bad time.
Oh, I can't really hear you, mate. It's getting a bit busy here.
Yes, we seem to be losing the signal here, Tony.
Fucking way, Las Bolitas!
Well, we're just trying to get that signal back. I think we... Yes? Tony? Tony, I mean, we were literally away for 2 seconds. How has this happened, Tony? Can you hear me? Well, hopefully you, the viewer at home, have managed to glean a broader understanding
wie
of the
gut ist das
serious
denn?
and complex issues around law and order. After the break, Megan will be live with some plucky young thespians. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back, everybody.
Mate, I ain't got long and I'm quite drunk. It's been a great night. In this next section, there's a bit of music. If you edit in time with the music, you can see the result on the vision mixer, and the public will love that. Don't worry if you don't know, you won't get punished for it or nothing. Just try and stay in the groove. Also, one last tip, when the music starts, turn down the broadcast volume. Right, enjoy the music bit. God, I love music. God, I'm so pissed. I think I might go and throw up in a bit.
Ich könnte das jetzt sogar nochmal erneut spielen, aber ich glaube, das mache ich mal nicht. So, wo muss ich denn da?
It's alright, I've got this. I'm sure it's on his way. Come on, it's
Entweder auf 1 oder auf 2.
This is on you. 10 seconds, everybody. We're going to open on Megan. Camera 2. Going in 5,
Ah.
4, 3.
Welcome's Black, I'm Megan Wolfe, and on tonight's Culture Spot, I'll be chatting with one of the first beneficiaries of the Assets and Wealth Act, a team of inspiring young people from Scritchford Sixth Form College, who today received a grant from Advance to take their play, Hey, Friendship, on a tour of local secondary schools. Welcome to you all. Well, let's start with you two, Harriet and Charlotte Winstanley-Hamilton. Girls, you must be thrilled.
We are, Megan.
Okay.
Overwhelmed, to be honest.
And I believe you two are sisters, is that right?
Yes, Charlotte's my oldest.
Hi.
I'm the older, more popular one. Only joking.
Harriet and Trey were really the ones who came up with the whole idea.
So, Harry and I were
Oh mein
shooting the
Gott.
breeze in the cafeteria,
Oh
and I
mein
said,
Gott.
hey, let's actually do something.
So I went to look for a drama teacher.
But she'd been laid off due to budget cuts.
Ja, aber das kann ich ja nicht sogar
I
nur
directed a pantomime
von da
when I
zeigen.
was at university, so I knew the ropes, as it were.
Right, yes, but you're the maths teacher, aren't you?
Yes, that's me, Jeff Algebra, maths.
Oha.
Maths is really important. Oh, thanks, Steve. Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
As is theatre. It's one of the oldest art forms in history. Aristotle
I
believes
just think that when we travel around all these problem schools and the
Oh,
young
man.
kids see us, they say, hey, I really want to be like those attractive kids. And that's a beautiful and powerful thing.
We touch our audiences, and they touch us right back.
I suppose with a surname like Algebra, there was really only one choice of career for me.
Okay.
My wife, Angela, and I, we often laugh about it.
Angela Algebra.
Yes.
Oh.
We just want to bring a bit of song and joy into people's lives.
And teach people about the difficult issues. The issues in the play are what really matter.
And I think you're going to be showing us an extract from this play, aren't you?
That's right. To put into context, I play a young first year who's having some troubles at school.
Her character
Oops.
doesn't actually have a name, yeah, because in a way she's like all of us.
It's like a metaphor. Maybe she's you at home, or like maybe she's you, Megan.
Maths is really important. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Math is really important.
Right, well, I'm going to have a little chat with your teacher while you run off and get ready. I can't wait to see it. That's it, that way. So, Jeff, when did you first hear about the grant?
2 days ago. A letter from Advance arrived at the school. Now, the headmaster thought it was all a prank, but his secretary retrieved it from his bin and brought it to me.
Ich dachte, kurz zeigen, wo soll es
I also
hingehen?
threw it in the bin. But then Harriet and Trey rescued it, and they rang the number at the bottom of the page, and next thing you know, we're on tour.
Wow. Well, I think we can all guess which way you'll be voting from now on.
Do you know what? It's funny because Angela and I don't usually vote. We're not very political. I'm a mathematician, of course, and she's a paraplegic mainly. But
Wow.
I did used to watch that Peter Clements DIY show
Immer
back in the
wählen gehen.
day, and so we thought, why not? Let's have a go with this old democracy thing.
Okay.
And here we bloody well are.
Good stuff.
Fucking brilliant.
So, let's have a look at a short section of Hey, Friendship.
So, was muss ich jetzt machen?
Dear Diary, I'm not sure I can take another day at this school. Another day of tears. Another day of fears. But still I walk the corridors alone. Dreading what might be around every corner.
What's around the corner? What's around the corner? What's around the corner?
Oh, hi Gary.
Oh heavens, no! It's Gary the Fist.
Gary the Fist.
Going somewhere, little first year?
Great. I've been looking for some poor victim to bully all morning. But will this make me feel better about my violent father? Violent father.
Excuse me, I'm late for maths. It's my favourite subject.
Oh mein Gott.
So important.
Maths is for losers. What? Maths is for losers. My arm's stuck, coach. Just keep going for fuck's sake. Right. Maths is for losers. Now, give me your lunch money.
Double lunch for me today, but why am I only truly happy when I'm eating?
Alter, man kann da nicht wirklich viel reden dazwischendurch. Muss auf alles aufpassen.
Who are you? Oh, my arm's free, coach. Brilliant, keep going. Right. Who are you to stand up to me? I'm Gary the Fist, and you're just a sad little girl with 2 gay dads who's all alone.
That's where you're wrong, Gary the Fist. These are my 2 new friends. Vanessa is captain of the netball team.
Yeah.
And Blake owns a motorbike.
Yeah.
But
Alter.
I'll fight all 3 of you, and I don't have any friends of my own.
The fuck?
Take a look at me. Take a little look at my face. I could be you. She could be you. And you could be me.
Or you could be me.
Life can be peachy keen if you work as a team.
It's my choice to be mean.
Ich weiß noch nicht, auf welche Kamera.
Make a different choice.
Hey, listen up.
Ach, 3 wäre es gewesen. Okay, das klingt komisch.
Council estate. The park was hip, but the flats weren't great. My dad used to come home drunk and late, and he'd hit my mum for dinner. He had to wait. Oh, where's my dinner?
It's not ready.
Oh, where's my dinner, woman?
What the fuck?
Make me ask you again.
Hitting women is wrong.
I guess life's pretty hard on a council estate. 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 Life's pretty hard on a council estate.
Alter.
Hard on a council estate.
Life can be peachy keen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
If you work as a team.
Just work as a team.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's my choice.
So stop now, make a different choice.
Listen to that inner voice.
Friendship.
Okay.
Well, thankfully that's all we have time for tonight on the National Nightly News.
So ein Arsch. Die
Join
geben
us
sich voll
tomorrow
Mühe,
night
auch wenn es
for
komisch
all the
klang.
headlines from across the country. My name's Jeremy Donaldson. Have a peaceful night.
And we're out.
What the literal fuck was that?
I believe that was art.
I believe I've got a 14-inch cock.
Ja, komm. So. Also da habe ich wahrscheinlich jetzt auch nicht sehr viel geholt. Na, C. Ja, das war nicht so geil. Ach nee, Übertragung abge... Ich dachte, da kommt doch noch was. Teleton in Extras freigeschaltet. Oh ja. Das war nicht so geil. Das könnte besser laufen. Oh, ND, was auch immer ND ist. Aber hier die Illuminaten, maybe, mögen nicht. Aktuelles Vermögen, bettelarm. Die Welt mag mich mehr, gut. So. Ah, es ist sehr witzig, dieses Spiel. Sehr, sehr geil. Oh. Mann, Mann, Mann.